This video is brought to you by CoolstuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, I'm going to talk about something I feel like I talk about a lot, but probably don't talk a lot about on YouTube. I'm going to talk about best of 3 and best of 1 really quick before we get into the video, and I'm going to use today's deck as an example. I get comments and I get asked a lot why I play best of 1. I think it makes for better videos. The videos I enjoyed most before I started creating content myself were always best of 1. And the videos and style I like playing the most are best of 1. Since I'm not very often trying to compete at a high level, it's really not my thing right now. Since I love content a lot more than competing, I'm very happy to make content in a best of 1 style. I would also like to point out that as far as having a niche and doing a thing that I love to do while also being useful, I would say that there are a lot of really great players out there who will play best of 3 for you. They'll talk about their sideboarding and their sideboarding guides. All kinds of websites, pretty much any place that sells Magic cards also has articles from professional players telling you how to sideboard in best of 3 and how to build sideboards. This information is not hard to find. A lot of pro players have YouTube channels. They don't have very many subs, so maybe people don't know about them, or maybe they find their personality bland. But I promise you, best of 3 content is not hard to find. But what is a little rare to find, and what you're not going to find often, is somebody who has a lot of experience, some of it in a very competitive setting when I was much younger, who takes a look at best of 3 lists that are doing things in tournaments and are put out by pros, and adapts it to best of 1, because best of 1 is not the same as best of 3. It's kind of a different kind of skill set. Some people like to go around saying best of 3 is real Magic. I would like to point out that everything is real Magic when it is with Magic cards. Commander is real Magic. Okay, everything is real Magic because the only thing that makes it real is what it means to you. That's just trying to establish dominance, intellectual dominance over people they don't even know because they want to feel special. It's a little bit of a toxic attitude. They must also be control mages, though. Anyway, what we're going to do is bring this conversation around to a very particular deck. This is Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa, one of the very best player in the game, absolutely. Considered by most top 5 player in the game. And he writes for Star City Games, and this is a list he published on Star City Games for a green-white aura list for best of 3. And this is a pretty good best of 3 deck. I don't think it's top tier. On a good weekend where the meta lines up well, I would call it about a tier 2, but more likely a tier 3 deck. But with sideboarding, it can be flexible and it can adjust to whatever it needs to play against. It can bring in Hushbringers and Archon of Sun's Grace to have more game against red mages with Devout Decree. It's good against black with Apostle of Purifying Light. Shifting Ceratops and Mystic Repeal give it game against Fires of Invention and blue decks. So it's the kind of deck where you want to sharpen your Swiss Army knife and get the right tool for the right job and be able to attack a deck in exactly the way that you need to. This was my starting point for playing green-white auras for best of 1, which is the video I'm bringing you today. This deck is terrible in best of 1. Completely unplayable. A lot of it has to do with Embercleave. This deck has a terrible time competing with Embercleave without an absolutely perfect draw, and with a number of things being vulnerable to shock and just like getting absolutely steamrolled at every turn, with no interaction of almost any kind aside from 2 Warbar Blessing hiding down here. This deck, I think I went something like 2-17, and this was my starting point for the deck for today's video, and why we're having this fireside chat about best of 1. Because what you're going to see is the deck that I'm going to show you is going to be completely different. But I do recommend this list. If you want to play this list in best of 3 and you want to do some green-white aura stuff, it's very fun, it's very competitive, but on best of 1 at even platinum rank, you will get destroyed. This is where I ended up with my green-white aura list after about an hour of testing. No, a little more than that. Oh, a lot more than that. God, I started around 5 in the afternoon, I finished around 9 at night. It wasn't all this deck, but it was mostly this deck. But you'll see, I'm actually pretty nervous about this one because I ended up so far away from what Paulo was doing, and Paulo is one of the greatest of all time. But this is where I think I have value. I don't think many other people are going to put the work into finding a good version for the best of one ladder and meta and events the way that I do. I don't think anybody else is going to put that kind of work. Most people grab a best of 3 deck from Magic Online deck lists or MTG Goldfish, or they grab the winning deck from the Pro Tour and they play it exactly as is. And I've done that on occasion, on many occasions. But I'm always looking for what makes it better for best of one. So let's talk about this deck. 4-Wire Briar Blessing. The early interaction is so crucial. If you are on the draw, you just don't have time to play Paradise Druid, Cetessan Champion, and start playing some auras before you start taking a beating. You have to be able to kill something. So I have 4 blessings, and they combo very nicely with Paradise Druid and oftentimes with Hunted Witness, which we'll get to, and Alseid of Life's Bounty. Hunted Witness is a really important card. Mono red is so devastating, and you just can't block them, not without getting some auras on your creatures first. So if you block with your creature and it dies because of, I don't know, first strike, shock, some combat trick, then you gain nothing and you're back to square one. So you just can't afford to block mono red. But with Hunted Witness, you can throw something in front of them, and then you untap with a 1/1 lifelink creature, which then you can throw an aura onto, and now you have a lifelink creature with some body. And that's what it takes to compete with mono red, which, by the way, is easily now the most played deck on the ladder. Like, not close. The deck pretty much got this huge resurgence in popularity. I'll take all the credit for that. No, nobody's playing Rixmati Reveler. But they're all playing the Annex, Harden the Forge, and they're all playing the Phoenix. Apparently these cards were exactly what mono red needed. Plus, having blue-white control in the metagame is good for mono red as the age-old battle goes. But there's our Hunted Witness. We just need an early play, like the Life's Bounty or the Witness. We pretty much run them out. We can't hold them back. Then we have Paradise Druid and Champion. These are the other things we want to get our auras on, but we really want to play something early and start enchanting it. Another card that you probably don't see every day. Glaring Aegis. This is 1 for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, tap a creature an opponent controls. You need the 3 toughness, and you need it cheap, and you need it early against red, and against anything that is using damage-based removal. This card is pretty good against the Wilderness Reclamation deck, because it uses Storm's Wrath and maybe some Scorching Dragonfire, right? But the tap target creature is also crucial, because we need to get through and beat our opponent to death, and tapping their Cavalier of whatever with this card, or their Dream Trawler, is usually the difference between winning and losing. We could play Banishing Light. I tried that in this spot. We could play Heliod's Punishment, a number of other auras, but the fact that this is 1 mana makes it effective against red, and at worst, just a cycle, just draw more cards, because in a nutshell, this deck is an engine deck built around 2 cards. Season of Growth and Cetessan Champion. You have to have one of these, you have to get it online, and you have to get it drawing cards quickly, and then you have to push to close the game. It's a very tricky thing. So this deck is weird to play. Like I said, it makes me nervous because I ended up with a list so far away from what I've seen anybody else playing. But I do think this is the right list. So we're going to go take it out. We're going to play it. We're going to put it to the test. Cross your fingers. If I get served my butt on a plate, well, I tried. And I think that's the best thing I can say about my own channel. I'm trying to make the best content for best of one in a somewhat competitive setting, and I'm trying to show a variety of options for the metagame on a daily basis. And I think that makes my content a little bit valuable to some of you out there playing the arena, and I hope that is why you're here. That, or it's my smug and punchable face, as they like to say on the comments for Brawlhall 3. I love you all. All right, let's go. We're fighting the Nexus. I'm sure I've fought this person before, but when your name is Nexus, and Nexus of Fate was a card, oh no. This hand it has no engine pieces, and usually I mulligan a hand without engine pieces, but we also have Sentinel's Eyes and All That Glitters on Paradise Druid, which, that is a hexproof giant monster, which can be enough on its own. I'm going to keep it, but we really need to draw an engine piece. Fire off the bounty. And there is mono red, there is mono red, mono red, mono red. Just trade with them. Actually, this isn't going to live. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to suit this up. Yeah, I think you just trade with them. Try to keep their Embercleave far away. That's a good draw. Here is Druid. 22 lands in the deck means you get a lot of 2-landers. The Paradise Druid does help with that, but it is a pretty risky card to tap, of course. So let's see what the opponent has. If it's Runaway Steamkin, I will be dancing. It is not Runaway Steamkin, it's a Robber of the Rich. The Blessing can kill it next turn, which is just fine. If we draw a land, we can also Sentinel's Eyes, which is just fine. So I think we're doing no blocks here. Hunted Witness, huh? Rough. Alright. So we will Blessing the Druid, which will fight and kill the Robber. We could tap to put the Sentinel's Eyes on the Druid, but it's already got 3 toughness, so I don't think the opponent can kill it. It's much harder to kill a 3 toughness card. So instead I'm going to deploy the Witness. If the opponent can kill this Druid this turn, that's a big oops. But if they can't, or they don't prioritize doing it, it's just that there's no Lightning Strike in the format, and I think we're all still getting used to that. And yep, instead what they're holding on to most certainly is a Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, let's deploy the Sentinel's Eyes so we can attack with Vigilance, and then post-combat we can either deploy the other Druid or we can Blessing kill this, which I'm not very afraid of this. So yeah, let's get the Eyes down. I wish this card had Flash. It would be so good. Oh well. So Sentinel's Eyes allows this to attack without losing its hexproof skills. I do want to trade this at some point, but yeah. I'm probably going to either play this Druid or this All That Glitters this turn. So if I'm going to do that, I want the Witness to block. Alright, yeah, let's get All That Glitters onto the Druid. Let's do it. Then we can start attacking our opponent with a 6/7 Vigilance Hexproof. I hear Mono Red might struggle with that, but now of course what we have to be thinking about are Embercleave, Torbrand, the things that the deck just does to blow you out. Another option would be to try to trade this Witness and then be able to put All That Glitters on a Lifelinker. That's really good against Red, but we can't be sure that the opponent's going to want to trade. They might just try to build up their resources, go Torbrand, then double Cavalcade, then attack, which would mean we're sitting here with All That Glitters and without the attacking 6/7 for a while. And you do want to put them under pressure. As soon as Red has to start blocking, they're a much worse deck. There is the Torbrand. Looks like their plan is what I thought it might be. Oh, they are sending the Spitter, though, here. And we have our lifelink. Let's do the Blessing. Fight you. Let's send the troops. I want my 1 life. Opponent takes it. Now we can play the other Druid. This would lose Hexproof, which I don't think matters, to be honest. I think it may as well have Hexproof in the form of 10 toughness, don't you? Okay, our opponent hits back-to-back free 1/1s. This is the best Dwarven Mine has ever looked. Our hand is empty. You're not stealing anything from me. I'm rich on board. We might actually win a game without Season of Growth and without Setessan Champion. And the good news is this deck does have All That Glitters, which sometimes, in sort of a limited magic way, can cheese out people that way. Oh, they're going for it, huh? If I attack with all next turn, I think the opponent clearly plans to block this anyway. So I may as well trade with the Robber since they can't Embercleave. Another land isn't particularly great, but let's keep the pressure on, and I attack with the Lifelinker because the opponent's going to chump block the 7/10. And every turn this Lifelinger gets to deal damage, we gain a life. And every life we gain makes it harder for red. Right. They're almost in the abyss where they'd have to chump this every turn. Really close. Are they still holding Shock or Bone Crusher Giant? Seems like it. If they have a Bone Crusher Giant, they need to just play that on the Lifelinker and then cast the Giant itself. So I don't think they do. I think this... And if it were a Shock, I think they'd have used it by now in the Lifelinker. So what are they holding? Might be a Scorching Dragonfire? Like, something that does a lot more damage, I think. Oh, it was a Shock. Okay, they're just stingy. They think Shock always has to be the last 2 points to the dome. Alright, fine. We keep playing out our lands rather than holding them. For one thing, any opponent should be able to deduce if there's something here we don't play, it's a land. And also, you want to have all your mana on the battlefield for when you have a Setessan champion or a Season of Growth going, because you'll end up hitting all your land drops after that. Speaking of all your land drops, we have drawn at least 3 or 4 straight here, and the opponent is trying to figure out how to claw back into this. We've just matched our opponent, who also has 6 lands, but 2 of theirs made chump blockers, which has turned out a lot more relative than I expected, or relevant. Much more relevant than I expected. Still, what are you going to do about this? Our opponent finds land number 7. That won't do it. Arcanist, would you like to attack? Paradise Druid says, come on and get some. I put Archimedes on the bench, by the way. He's not over here anymore. Figure my face covers it up anyway, and if it eats any amount of my CPU, don't want him to. Plus the hoo-hoo got a little poo-poo. Bit much of it. Opponent not giving up the Arcanist, choosing to go to 1. What do you draw when you need to draw something? A draw 2. There's another Arcanist there, and a Lava Coil. Staying alive, staying alive. Arcanist can't flash back a light up the stage, not without having 3 power. Well, this one's already lethal. I don't really see the point of playing another All That Glitters now. The opponent's not going to kill it, and they have to block it. So it's best to save the All That Glitters for another card. Plus the opponent might think I drew a creature that I don't want lava coiled. 8th land. Well, definitely looks like a bad game of Limited down the stretch here. Woo! Just doing it over here. And you know we both run, like, I run 22 lands. This deck might run 22, might run 20, might run 13, for all we know. And that's game. We defeated the evil Nexus. Storm Chaser. Is it sounding? Well, this has no creatures and no white source. This is an easy mulligan. And this is a deck, you know how I feel about mulliganing. I hate it. This is a deck that has to mulligan pretty often. Okay, this is a keep. I wish I knew if this was good. It may not be. And I may need the land, but we also may just flood on the land. I'm definitely going to send away the Passage, I think. A tap land there is particularly awkward. Okay. Another land off the top makes me happy I made that play. But we need an engine. We're in our 2nd game here, and we haven't seen one of our engine cards yet. Yes! There we go. There we go. I think the opponent might trade this because they don't want to, or they might not trade it, I would say, because they want Devotion. Still, saving this could be big game. Land off the top would be nice for the Aegis on the Paradise Druid. And since I've already discarded a land in bottom of the land, I don't deserve it. But it could happen. Wow, straight up dragged to the underworld. Okay. Don't deserve it, but what do you know? Here we go. Let's hope to dodge Liliana's Triumph. Don't think another land is where we need to be. And making this, like making your Hexproof Paradise Druid into a real blocker right away is another big deal for this card. Because usually you put the Paradise Druid down, but you can't block with it. Nice. Oh yeah, it's about to get real. Second season. I think we just want a Yara gone right away. Yes, we drew the land. Give me that. So you don't have Vigilance. So let's just keep playing these out. 3/6 Hexproof. Looking for Sentinel's Eyes. And we're going to try to get this done before Grey Merchant comes down. Opponent misses a land drop, plays a knight. You got to play a lot of lands in this deck. We can scry first, or we can go for all that glitters and maybe we'll draw into something anyway. Let's scry first. It also lets us distribute our auras among two of these. I mean, why not? Why the heck not? Now we're just looking for some Sentinel's Eyes to give these Vigilance so that they don't die to drag the Underworld. The opponent does have a Death Toucher in Knight of the Ebon Legion, which we may have to trade for. Won't feel great. But it does eat up all their mana, and their mana's not doing much. Wow. Okay. That Paradise Druid is gone. Opponent's low on mana. Let's thin the deck. Do I know what's down here? Actually, there's two lands on the bottom, so it wouldn't thin the deck. Let's deploy here and try to draw that Sentinel's Eyes. And a Witness. Another land. Alright. We're at 16. Yeah, let's get him. It's time. It is time. They might kill one of them, but that's probably their whole turn's worth of mana, using a Murderous Rider or something of that nature. Possibly second drag to the Underworld. Yeah, yeah, why not? Why not? They find land number 4. You've got to think they have to kill one of these Paradise Druids. Or they can play a Nightmare Shepherd. Okay. So when this dies, I get to exile another card from my hand. Not a big deal. That Nightmare Shepherd doesn't scare me much. Let's see if we can draw into even more juice here. And we'll throw you over here, because now all of our threats are super killers. Life's Bounty. I can give protection from black, but I don't have anything at 10. Oh, maybe that was a mistake. I think it wasn't wrong when I first saw it, but okay, the opponent doesn't. They've had enough anyway. Having to chump with their Nightmare Shepherd just sounds too brutal. I'm stoked to have 2 wins, I'm not gonna lie. I am pumped. Oh no, no creatures. That's a mulligan. This is no engine pieces, but I think it has to be a keep. And what are we doing? Just loading up. This might be one of those games where we just try to load up one threat and hope that's good enough. And if it is, maybe I want to get rid of this Hunting Witness and keep both of these Aegis. But I don't think, I can't imagine keeping a double Aegis here and hoping that the extra +1/+3 is what pushes it over the top. Just doesn't sound right. All right, Witness. It's red. Okay. Okay. Let's get this on the field, and let's make it unkillable as quickly as we can. Actually, if the opponent attacks anyway, I might just want to put the Witness in front if they attack into this, because it would mean possibly double Rimrock Knight, which I'm not willing to risk. Because the next step is to put all that glitters on this thing. We make it unburnable, then we keep it from having to dive into combat until it's too big for combat to even dream of doing anything. And here's Runaway Steamkin. Okay, nice. Suit up, baby. Suit up. Let's go. Let's frickin' go. Oh, the great mono red. What have you fallen into? They still have Steamkin. There's a lot that can go wrong. I've lost games like this. This card is a big part of it. I mean, they can eventually go super wide with Satyrs and beat me. Especially if I only draw land. So yeah, this is not over. This is not over. Red decks are... Okay, well, our opponent choosing to go to 6 there is kind of a big deal. Because if we draw a second Alseid of Life's Bounty to give this protection, it's just game over. Okay, that's an Embercleave. So if this is suited up, it does trade, so we don't want to block that. And a Witness can do that job. This can get up to 3, 4. I think we can kill that. Alright. See what happens. Good game. Okay. I guess you're dead? Okay. So their hope, of course, was that I'd make a mistake, block the Annex, trade my Life's Bounty, but this can't block. So... Blood Crypt. Are you playing my version? Maybe you are. I don't think I had Scorched Spitter in mind. No, no Scorched Spitter here either. Alright, they must have meant it when they said good game. Cool. Hopefully Power Thirst will get to catch this on the video. Well, that is the perfect avatar choice for Popeye, because Garrick eats the spinach. I'm really starting to tilt that I can't draw Setessan Champion, and I've only drawn Season of Growth once, but how do I turn away this hand? I have Paradise Druid into Sentinel's Eyes and all that glitters. I can't play a turn 1 Hunted Witness, which might be really important if my opponent's playing red, but I think this is a keep. Dang it! Yeah, mono red. Eating spinach, of course. Okay, this tap land was just brutal. But that happens. Deep thoughts. The end? Interesting. Bone Crusher Giant on display. Alright, draw me another Plains. Kinda? Kinda not really? Let's get the Paradise Druid. Take that, Bone Crushy. So our next step is going to try to be to trade this Hunted Witness with something, or maybe just chump with it, so that we can have a 1/1 lifelink. Yeah, that's a chumpable card. Man, this forest is killing me here, though. I can't do anything with that. I could put the Sentinel's Eyes on here and attack with it, and then I could tap this for itself, but I don't think any of that is very good. I think next turn is going to be pretty epic. So just hold on to your butts. We could get Ember Cleaved here and now. That could be a thing. Love going second. Going second's the best. I mean, our opponent didn't even do anything on turn 2, and I think we're still going to get just Ember Cleaved out of this game. Lock. Although I guess the opponent playing Ember Cleave, one of the better things that could happen. Okay. No Ember Cleave. Let's hope that they take their shields down so I can enchant this Hunted Witness. Because if I don't get to enchant this Lifelinker, things are going to be a lot worse. I need them to play something. Nice. But do they still have a shock? Let's go find out. Karametra's Blessing would be a really nice top deck. We haven't had it yet. That's a good one. Well, now we'll definitely have a Lifelinker. Let's crack this first. Resolves. Sentinel's Eyes. All that glitters. Then he started to smile, for he knew it was good. All right. I don't think we use our last mana and the Life's Bounty here. I think we just get this attack. Yeah, you could use a Rimrock Knight here, but the Life's Bounty will save it. Plus you'll take 2. Infuriate, I see. It does lower the power, unfortunately. But... oh, that's so smooth! I forgot about the toughness boost. Oh, that's so smooth. I'm so mad. Stupid red deck wasn't so stupid. They got me. They got me, everybody. Let's see if they continue to get me. Okay, they're kind of giving away that their hand doesn't have the goods. That this isn't a very relevant card, but they're holding up their mana. Maybe they want to do double first strike. Well, I got something for that. We could Sentinel's Eyes over here so that this can attack as well, but this does get block castled. Don't like that. Plus all this lifelink may really matter. Crew battleship assembled. We'll see if we can recover from that misstep. But man, where is the Tessin champion? 0 times drawn in 4 games. We've seen about our whole deck by now, about 60 cards. Probably more than that. 0 champions. It's like he doesn't want to play with us anymore. He'd be a pretty bad top deck here, because do you run him out? I think you do, but he doesn't draw any cards right away unless these Sentinel's Eyes fall off somehow. In the tank. If the opponent attacked me with all, I think the plan would be to Paradise Druid the Annex. Oh no, probably not. Actually, Paradise Druid doesn't even have a good block. We put it here. If we put it here, like either way, either one of these with an Ember Cleave will kill it. So we'll block the first striker instead, and then I'll just try to chump here. We'll see what the opponent does. They'll scoop. That's what they'll do. They will scoop. Intermission, crack a pack. Please remember to like and subscribe. Whoever shouts out the name of this rare. No, this will definitely not work in YouTube. Nylea, the keen-eyed mythic. Baller. Sweet. But please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want some absolutely uncompetitive, redonkulous jank nonsense, I will brew something up for you at 45,000 subscribers. I think I need like 400 people to get there. And I know 60% of you watching this are not subbed. So for the love of God, if you want the jank, sub for the jank. Thank you. Fuzzy D. Rockin' green-eyed Vivian. Wow, out of nowhere comes Karametra's Blessing, a card that we also haven't drawn at all this whole time. We go first, we have Season of Growth, we have no creatures, and we have, like, this hand is unkeepable, because if we don't draw one of our 15 creatures in the next 3 draw steps, we lose, so. There you go, creatures and auras, it has carried us so far. I think we get rid of the Temple Garden. You know what? Let's get rid of the forest. I've had these situations where my forest isn't very useful to me. I think shocking to have better mana might make a lot of sense with this deck. I told you mono red has taken over. Like something this weekend, somebody gave everybody permission to be mono red again, and now they are. It is a good deck right now. It is very, very frustratingly good. It definitely keeps the format. You have to be interactive. Everything has to be quick. It's a very difficult thing to cope with. Anyway, suit up. We're going to need an engine card, though. This would be a great spot to draw a Setessan Champion. A really great spot to draw it. I'd settle for a Season of Growth. I'm probably just going to hold this as long as I can, hoping to draw into one of those to start drawing cards, because I don't even feel like the deck is doing the thing. I feel like we're beating mono red just on the fact that we make large lifelink bodies. You gonna attack with something? I mean, so this is a pretty foolish attack, because I'm definitely blocking. I can just put the Sentinel's Eyes on the other Druid. Yeah, baby. So Sentinel's Eyes has Escape, which we haven't used yet, but it's actually a big part of the deck. Which means you just replay it and do it some more. Let's keep our Druid Hex... we'll keep our Druid Hexproof through this turn sequence. But you see we've kind of just been getting away with beating up mono red just by having really cheap auras that boost the toughness. And believe it or not, this matchup is not that good with the other deck, where without really cheap cards like Glaring Aegis to get in there, you just end up getting messed up. You get messed up too much. You think there's an Infuriate here? I think there is. But once we play Aegis, Infuriate won't help our opponent. It's possible they just did that for the light up the stage. It's you. Attack. Just gonna put this Aegis over here. Now if this is 6/5, it's pretty unkillable. The opponent might find a way, but now I have Champion to start drawing cards, which is a 3/7, which is also really hard to kill. Plus they want to spend 3 of their 4 mana on Annex this turn. So how would they kill the Paradise Druid and play the Annex, right? Make it awkward. Make their light up the stage turn awkward if you can. Once you see what they reveal, you know what they want to play. If you can make it hard for them to play it and also do the other thing they may want to do, you'll be in a good place. Anyway, here comes our new friend. This card is such a tilt monster. Ooh, sure. So killing them, they just make a Satyr here. Like, Infuriate doesn't scare me when I have 7. Okay, they shock me. Alright, So Warbriar Blessing can fix Annex's wagon. There'll be 2 little satyrs there that I have to worry about. Where do we put this? I think we put it on the Paradise Druid, because it's going to keep attacking. Nom. So this is 7-3, but these can't block. So this can go right ahead and get in there. And I'm also saving this because Torbran is one of the ways the opponent might cheese their way into this. And just every turn, put them in the abyss with the Paradise Druid, make them chump. And in the meantime, have solid defense. Tin Street Dodgy Boy. They've shown they do not want to put mana into this to make it unblockable. Stomp my face. Sure. Why not attack with all? What the hell? Leave one Dodgy Boy back. Alright. Yeah. They're trying to get there. They're trying. Makes me a lifelinkies. Skewer my face. Deep. Can I kill you? 6, 7. I can kill you. Metra's Blessing, the other card we just haven't seen much of today, but there it is. We do combat tricks too. Hey, this looks like a hand with the engine pieces and the auras. My god, what does the world come to? Keep. Painful land, though. I'll just have to deal. I'll cope with it. Let's get the... I like getting the bounty down. Who knows? We might be in a spot where turn 2 all that glitters attack with a 3/3 is the right play. Are you kidding me? I can't make this stuff up. This is the first time this has happened. I have not played against mono red and mono red only in a long time. Anyway, let's suit up. We're gonna do it. This is how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be. Yep. Yep, you are a champion. A true master. Oh, baby. Yes. Yes. My plan. My beautiful plan is coming together. All right. I don't remember the last time I played the same matchup as many times as I have today, but I think I get to make a video now titled Smashing Mono Red. Maybe I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. This game isn't over, I would say. But it ain't close. Not yet. Now we just need a way to sneak it through. One more Alseid of Life's bounty. Do you have a Claim the Firstborn? That would be epic. Nope. I am out of things to go with the Season of Growth because I moved so fast, but I don't have any regrets. I think this was where we wanted to be. No Embercleave yet. Of course, if the opponent moves all in with an Embercleave, they die, because they're at 4, and I'm at 34. Rimrock Knight, yeah. You did that. That is a play you made. Gotta get those extra points. Now, a Sentinel's Eyes to give this Vigilance would pretty much be the lock. Let's go get another white source because we usually end up needing a lot more of those than green. Because all of our cheap auras are white. Okay. We'll play this first. Because it adds power to the power to this monster here. Uh-huh. Do I play the Paradise Druid and be mana efficient? If I leave one open, then I claim the Firstborn or an Act of Treason. I could sacrifice this in response, which is kind of silly. Plus, this gets me a lifelinker, and it can get me 2 scries when it dies. I can scry again. Which is one of the cool things with Season of Growth, because whenever a creature, not a non-token creature, enters the battlefield, you get to scry. So it's one of those micro value plays you can make. Yeah, why not? Is it Embercleave time? Alright, gives it to the Rimrock. We'll block the Rimrock, make the opponent Embercleave this if they want to keep it. Yep, you're a very talented magician. Seen it all before. But it is trouble. I mean, I would have Embercleaved this. You've got to close, man. That's 16, 19 damage? Like, that's Clash of the Titans right there. Alright, come on. Find me another All That Glitters or something. Oh, game. That's game. Sweet. That's game. So we have to remember to name black, because this is a black army token. Ooh, we're gonna be toxic about it. Oh, it's right there. All right, got him. We're getting toxic in here. I've played too many red decks in a row. Booster pack. Oh my god, what's going to be inside it? Could it be gems? Yep, because I've got the whole set. Once you do, all you get are gems. 7-0. I said I was anxious about this deck doing well. I got traumatized with the other version on ladder, and then tuned and tuned and tuned until the red matchup wasn't embarrassing, and now here we are. Smashing red. I'll keep it. We've got a champion and a blessing. Oh, you're not red. This is much harder without a Paradise Druid, and Glaring Aegis is not good. But when they pay life for that, that's interesting. They might have a Dovin's Veto. Ah, they have a Brazen Borrower. Well, let's resolve this anyway. And then they'll borrow and bounce it. And then they might absorb it next time. We'll see. But it's better them using a Brazen Borrower on the Season of Growth than it is them using it on the Hunted Witness when we try to enchant it. So maybe not. Maybe it was just Omen of the Sea all along. Would you like to make a play? Teferis? Okay. Let's see what you do with that, Teferi. Bounce the Witness? Love it. I love it. So let's put you out there. Scry up. Blessing can make something indestructible. We like that. I don't know if we need more, though. We might just want land. Because, well, Hexproof and Indestructible can be a house. Alright, let's... Well, oh shoot, I forgot about Teferi. Forgot about Teferi. Well, if Teferi's here and the Blessing doesn't do anything, we'll just glitter up. Because we know it'll resolve right now. And see what the opponent does. This card, it's... Oh my god, you run Glass Casket? It's like the best possible thing against us. But anyway, this card's only real weakness is Teferi, which is, on its own, kind of a reason not to run the card at all, sadly. But it is a serious weakness. Okay, the opponent hits a tap land. Are they going to give me a break here? No. No break. No break from blue-white. No surprise.
This might be a bad idea.
It's a bad idea for me. Trust me, I know. We'll put that away. Should never have kept this. I can't believe we're still here in 2020 and I'm still forgetting about Teferi. Alright. Got some extra draw. Let's see if the opponent can do something about this champion. It's gonna bounce him? Sure. And say go. Alright. Respect my witness. So we can give this indestructible or hexproof if we can get an aura on it. So if I go for this, I think it will get countered. If I go for this, it may not. Plus I get to draw a card. Okay, they're going to absorb it anyway. Love it. Weird, but love it. Alright. I mean, I can't protect it. But maybe next turn I can protect the champion or something if I draw another aura. But now you have to deal with this again. That's rude. Keep it at 5, huh? Now I won't draw a card. The opponent might use an absorb here. Nice. Unfortunately, the blessings are gone. But we get to keep drawing cards. Go get another green. And I think I'll play this Paradise Druid and put a blessing on it. Try to scry our way into more action. I want another enchantment on the battlefield so that if there is a Shatter the Sky, I get to draw the card from it. I don't think this is going to do me much good otherwise. I could have saved it to go with Champion. I just don't think Champion's going to resolve. We've seen 2 absorbs now, but our opponent's throwing them around so willy. So just tossing them around. I don't think they're going to resolve. Well, our opponent hasn't shattered the sky yet. Maybe they're just that casual with their Teferis. This is too bad. This is way too bad that we didn't draw another aura. Because it might have been a window to try to do champion stuff. That's the aura we've been waiting for. Okay. Send the druid. Try to kill the Teferi. Yay. Land, go. So Sentinel's Eyes, the ability to cast it over and over from the graveyard is really important. And it's been missing in this game. So we found one. Is it too late? I also don't know if we got absolutely everything we needed to out of these blessings, but I do feel that Narset had to go. We're main phasing an Omen. Maybe our opponent's in trouble. They kept one on top. They can't be in that much trouble. Sure. So, I feel like they're going to shatter the sky. If they're going to do that, do I want to play my champion now or later? Because once I go for the Sentinel's Eyes, it's big trouble. So I think I just want to go for Sentinel's Eyes here. Okay. Nice. Charge. Play another Witness. Season of Growth. Bottom. Once the opponent actually deals with the Paradise Druid, the Sentinel's Eyes will go to the graveyard. It's definitely Dream Trawler time, though. I think this game is just about over. But the opponent wants to Wrath before they play the Dream Trawler. So I think that's that's like what goes well for me here. Okay, we'll keep the Aura. We'll keep that. And we have the Sentinel's Eyes. So stuff is happening. So this is Absorb mana. They've already played 2. They've seen about half their deck. They know I have a champion, so they're trying to wait for that. I say I just don't give it to them. Say we just don't give it to them. This is quite the source of card advantage if our creatures keep dying, so we just keep on building threats that the opponent has to respect, and we get to use the Sentinel's Eyes with the Season of Growth over and over. There's another one. That's good too. There's an Aegis, which we can save for a Dream Trawler if we can. Might make sense, might not. Okay, they let that go. Blessing. Blessing can go against a Dream Trawler too. Now let's just keep moving. Keep hitting them. If they're going to take this hit, I'm going to make it a painful one. Actually doesn't thin the deck, so I'll wait until I really want to use it. Ooh, the Bounty. Interesting card. I can play it just to get the Scry. The protection's really good though, and it goes well with the champion, so I'll save that. It does pump the All That Glitters a little. Alright, here we go. Those Hunted Witness tokens paying off, are they not? Yep, Sky Shattered. Sentinel's Eyes back to the graveyard. My turn. See if they let me resolve a Paradise Druid. Because once that's down, I can go Sentinel Eye crazy. There's the Absorb. Okay. Good. Knew you had it. Just waiting for it. Yes. Yes, please. But let's play the Bounty. So that there's protection. So it's going to force another sweeper. I'm going to use this land now. So let's crack this before we do any more scrying. Probably going to shock to play this. I might want to hold back another Bounty. Let's just bring out the Eyes. The opponent wants to deal with this really bad, and I want to protect this really bad, so I think that's what we suit. Okay, we've got Champion into Bounty again if they manage to answer this board state. Also, Bounty protects around Teferi, unlike a lot of cards like Karametra's Blessing. And that is a refill. And you can see how this deck, it looked like we were pretty dead in the water early with Narset, Teferi, Absorbs. But this deck can be very resilient against control as long as you're really mindful of setting up hard to deal with battlefields over and over and keeping something in the tank. You really don't want to play a champion until you get value out of it. Season of Growth has also been a rock star here. Okay, so the opponent's going to blow everything up. Let's sacrifice the Life's Bounty and give Season of Growth protection from blue. Or maybe white. We've seen Banishing Light. We haven't seen Brazen Borrower, so I'll pick white. Oh man. If we had just known that Karametra's Blessing was on top of the deck, oh well. It's gonna be fine. Let's start this party again. Here's the Paradise Druid. Here's the champion. Here's the Bounty. Just another impossible to deal with board. another season of growth that we could play, but I think it would be overkill. Nope, don't exile that. And now I think this is the first game where I've gotten to really show you the grindy power of Sentinel's Eyes. The card is absolutely ridiculous. Let's go ahead and resolve. Let's not do an All That Glitters. We can save it. Let's just keep... Well, actually, let's play this one from hand because we're going to have to discard. Alright, we leave 1 mana up for a Blessing, we leave 1 mana up for a Bounty, and we pass the turn. We'll have to discard down to 7, we're on 8. And let this passage go. I don't need to shuffle all of those lands back into the deck again. By the way, we're on 15 cards. Could get interesting. But we've seen 3 Shatter the Skies. And this time Shatter the Sky won't save our opponent unless they play Teferi first. And since they sacrificed that, yeah, that's just game. Woo! Oh my gosh, we got him. What a run. And you got to see the whole run this time because games with this deck are absolutely fast and furious, and I'm so relieved. But lock it in, friends. Another 7-0. I actually will put this one on Twitter because it is a deck yesterday I was very frustrated. I really didn't think I was going to be able to make this deck work. And so today feels really good. Prizes! Erebos! And it's my first one. I refuse to craft it for mono black because I'm not sure how good it is or if it's necessary, but now that I have one, I can play with it. Alright, changed nothing about the deck. I do think it's the best of 1 version you want. The Paulo deck I'm going to post in my Discord, so you can find it in the decks channel in my Discord if you want the Paulo best of 3 version. And thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Janky deck at 45,000 subscribers. Hallelujah. Come and get it. And remember to check out CoolstuffInc.com, my sponsor. So thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.